Hey everyone, Biggs is back. I'm with my dear friend Megan. I'm down in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm going to be speaking to the Aquarium Society today, and she's been driving me around as an incredible host, showing me all sorts of cool stuff. And right now, we got about an hour and a half before the meeting, so we're going to go check out this amazing place behind me. This is Botanical Gardens. What's it called?
Olbrich Botanical Gardens.
Olbrich Botanical Gardens. Looks like a tropic house. It means there's going to be lots of cool stuff. Let's go take a peek. The Olbrich Botanical Gardens is truly a 16-acre outdoor botanical wonderland. But the most noteworthy to me is the Bolt's Conservatory, which opened in 1991, and it is a 10,000 square foot conservatory. Let's take a peek at some of the incredible plants, such as this beautiful Vanda cerulea, an orchid from the Himalayas that has these large 6 to 8 inch bluish purple flowers, or the incredible Philodendron gloriosum, often prized as a houseplant. There's a big giant bird's nest fern. Or look at the trunk of this incredible palm tree. Could be used as a weapon. Such incredible diversity. Or this Medinilla magnifica, which is an incredible floriferous epiphyte originating from the Philippines. Look at the size of this unique flower, commonly known as a rose grape. Such a beautiful plant. Or a lot of the myriad of different types of palms. But take a look at the fronds of this palm. Look at the thorns that are on here. These plants know how to defend themselves. A wide assortment of different types of bromeliads throughout. Look at this universal rock style background, this rocky wall outcrop. Or look at this tree. Not only is the texture of the bark unique, but how it grows. It shoots these sharp spikes out of the substrate. Unique foliage up at the top. And orchids abound throughout this greenhouse, which was truly a highlight for me, such as this beautiful Phragmipidium grande hybrid. Look at this epiphyte, another type of orchid, climbing up the tree. This is funny. Keep our fish healthy. No coins, please. And yet the entire bottom is littered with coins. The English language seems to be lost here. This is truly inspiring for people like me that enjoy building different nature-inspired vivariums and terrariums for some of the animals we keep. Looking at how these ferns and mosses and different types of epiphytes use the structure of the tree limbs. This is an incredible anthurium. These are all prized, expensive houseplants, but some of them get fairly large. And here's two of probably the most recognizable. This is the queen anthurium, the Walkerianum, and directly beside her, my favorite anthurium, is the king, Veitchii. It gets up to 3 foot long leaves with these heavily crinkled. Absolutely stunning. I plan to have one of these added to my jungle wall. Just breathtaking to see him set up and doing so well in a setup like this. Or this incredible Calanthea orbifolia, often sold as a small houseplant, and it's huge. Here's another view of that incredible coin-filled water feature that runs throughout the entire greenhouse. Now the noise was so loud, so I've removed all the background noise from the water and all the people that were around and all the fans. Many other different types of tropical plants, a lot that we associate as small house plants. They completely cover the ground. I love the texture and the patterning on this beautiful species. Gives a nice punch of color in a vivarium. Different types of bamboos and palms. Here's a nice variegated bamboo. A lot of bamboos are fairly invasive, so somewhat challenging to control Here's another gorgeous orchid. This one happens to be another South American species. These are collagenese. They're challenging to grow because they require very high humidity. Now, with all my time spent in South America and Colombia, this is a maxillaria. Very, very common species you would find, and it's a very large group of flowers, different types of plants, and they require high humidity and cooler temperatures. Or this beautiful little Asiatic slipper orchid. This would be a Paphia pedalum. This one here is fascinating. This is Bulbophyllum frostii, and it goes by a common name of Dutch shoe orchid. Very, very unique. Just beautiful. But hard to deny, my favorites have always been the South American or New World slipper orchids such as these. These are all Phragmipidiums. This would be a grande type or a caudatum type hybrid. You notice the incredibly long sepals. They will continue to grow until they touch something. And these often are cultivated with their feet being wet. So on a cliff with a waterfall or seepage, or right on the riverbank. And because those sepals will grow down right down to the ground, they're often pollinated by ants who will climb up and pollinate the flowers. Here's another incredible Bulbophyllum. Let's get it in focus. Beautiful, beautiful, unique plants. It's easy to see why orchids have become so incredibly popular to grow, for the incredible diversity. Now this is an ancient, primitive plant. This is a angry-looking blue cycad. These are prehistoric plants that have been around here since the time of the dinosaurs. It's very rigid, very, very defensive. This plant can take care of itself. No herbivore is going to risk biting down on that. Here's an absolutely well-grown, another Asiatic slipper orchid. This is Paphia pedalum gratrixianum. Produces these very, very large slippers. Absolutely stunning. And this is the cacao tree. This is where chocolate comes from. And nice to see is it's actually producing the fruit. There's one there, there's another one there, and that one there is ripe, ready to fall off. Next up is this incredible tree, which is the tamarind tree. Anybody that enjoys Indian cuisine or enjoys samosas should know the fruit of this plant. It produces a large velvety bean, but I can't see any of them on here at the moment. Now this one should be common to many people. This is a Spathiophilum, or peace lily. This is often used in the pet trade for beta bulls and so forth, but it is a very, very large 3 or 4 foot tall growing houseplant. This is another incredible philodendron doing what they do best, wrangling up wild up a tree. Love seeing this. And this is an Asiatic carnivorous plant, or pitcher plant. These are nepenthes. And they have these modified leaf structures that grow down these tendrils and form these incredible pitchers at the bottom. And each pitcher fills with water and then becomes a trap for insects. A true carnivore.
All right, this is another super incredible orchid. This is one of the type of orchids I used to grow. This is a Colombian or Ecuadorian or Peruvian species, so all New World. This is a Gongoria, similar to Stanhopias. They produce these long inflorescences that grow down. And this one here is incredibly well grown. Now, none of the flowers are actually open yet, but when they do open, they kind of look like a rider riding a dragon. But just really, really incredible, very, very proliferous flower. Awesome, awesome plant to see.
So like the Gongoras or the Stanhopias I just talked about, this would be the African cousin. These are the Ancianetas. And they are true epiphytes. As you can see, the inflorescence, they have to be grown and either cultured in net pots so the inflorescences can grow down. Now this plant would be, being a true epiphyte, would grow in the crotch of a tree branch, and it would collect leaf litter and insects and so forth, and that slow breakdown would be the nutrient that would feed the plant. So most of the inflorescence aren't really open, but incredible to see. Now most of you may not know that this is truly an orchid, but once I tell you what it is, you all know this plant. This long gangling vine that grows over the arch is the vanilla orchid, where all our true vanilla extract comes from. Now the unique thing is that you can continue around this pyramid of the Olbrich Gardens and it takes you up into the canopy, where you can see the Spanish moss draping over all the trees. You get an entirely different viewpoint from everything up here. love how this tree, I can't remember what it was on the ground, but how it shoots the flower inflorescence right out of the side of the tree. Very, very unique to see. Botanical world will never cease to fascinate me. And there's my friend Megan saying, Biggs, we gotta go! Now, also up top here, they have these different wall panels. These are all different types of ferns and other types of epiphytes, primarily the tillandsias, or air plants. They're just so incredibly diverse, unique plants. Such variety. And none of these take anything from their hosts. From this viewpoint, I saw this incredible Phalaenopsis moth orchid growing. It was massive, suspended up in the canopy. Next up is this. This is without question probably the jewel of their collection. This is the Titan arum, or the Sumatran corpse flower. Now this thing takes about 5 to 10 years between flowering, and the flower only lasts for a few days. But when it flowers, wow. You're going to definitely want to come see it, and this one has flowered for them before. But when it does flower, it is so odoriferous, it's going to smell like a dead body. But truly magnificent to see.
Well, that was pretty cool. Now this place doesn't just have the big conservatory that we were just in, which is the thing behind me there. It has like 16 acres of grounds and everything, but we're just in early spring. Everything's just starting to green up. And that's really truly the highlight for me, is seeing all that wicked cool tropical stuff, because then it inspires all the different terrarium builds and vivarium builds that we do. We got to see some of these plants that we buy as house plants, and we see how big they can actually get. So I really got to thank Megan for taking me to see this. It was truly a highlight of the trip. Maybe one day we'll come back in the summertime and we'll take the rest of the look at the gardens. So thanks, guys. Cheers.